All righty, let's get started. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Jasmine Smith, and I serve as the Dual Enrollment Coordinator here at Albany State University. Dual enrollment is really sensational because we're able to offer college courses and classes to our high school students, mostly at an affordable cost, if not free. And so today we're going to get into more of that information and how you can get signed up. So real quick before I change this main screen, I'd like for you to go ahead and put my office number into your cell phone or write it down so that way if you do need to get in contact with me, you know exactly how. So I can be reached on phone at 229-500-2832. You can email me at jasmine.smith@asurams.edu. You can also utilize our dual enrollment email address, which is dualenrollment@asurams.edu. And my office is located on the West Campus in the C Building, 221. So, what is dual enrollment? Dual enrollment is the opportunity for your student to earn college credits while they're still enrolled in high school. In the past, dual enrollment was a program that was really dedicated toward, I guess, the more prestigious students with higher GPAs. But today in 2024, dual enrollment is actually a great resource for students to just become aware of what college is and to get college ready. So it's available to all. Our main requirements are that you need the minimum of a 3.0 GPA in order to be considered. When you first start looking into dual enrollment, everything goes through this website, which is www.georgiafutures.org. When you click on that website, you will start to see some of these familiar images. And so these are just here so you can start to get familiar with what to look for. So you would go to georgiafutures.org and then hopefully see these documents that are needed, such as the immunization records and the lawful presence. And we'll get into that more as well. As you can see at the bottom, it says that our fall deadline is typically June 1st, but because I'm your dual enrollment coordinator, I will work with all of you. So I will need information as soon as possible because we're already over our deadline. Okay. So just some highlighted information, minimum admission requirements. If you do have a 10th grade student at home, the 10th grade students are available or they can do dual enrollment, but there are some minor issues with that, meaning they do need the 3.0 GPA and they also would have to have their test scores already on file. So for our 11th graders and our 12th graders, they don't need their test scores on file to be considered. So this is great for 11th and 12th grade students. And the first step is to get that transcript sent over to me. So if you know who your high school counselor is, you can go ahead and ask them to submit the transcript and send it to my email. That will start the process right away, especially with getting them a RAM ID. Now, students are encouraged to go ahead and take the SAT and ACT as well as the AccuPlacer test, but they are not required upon admission. So you can apply into the school, you can get into the school without taking the necessary testing requirements, and then our university will also offer them as free ways to test here at our testing center. Okay, so here's the fun part, the checklist. This is everything that I need in order to be able to register your baby. Okay, so I know that your student may say, I just want to take English, and that's fine, but I do need the application, funding application on file first. That ensures that you are able to actually receive funding. I also would need the application to the college because without that, the college is not able to put you in the system or allow you to register for courses. The next one, that high school transcript that we talked about, the counselor would need to send that to me directly. You could also bring a hard copy, but it would need to be in a sealed envelope. So sometimes it's easier to just have them email that right over. For parents, I would need updated immunization records, AKA shot records. Those can be emailed directly to me. I also need the lawful presence, which is the birth certificate. I know some of your students are driving, so if they have an official state ID, then that would also be suitable for lawful presence. But if they have a permit on paper, that's not suitable. So a birth certificate is always going to be the best. Then you'll see that there's a parent agreement form that will come to your email once your student completes their side of the funding application. Lastly, you'll schedule with me, the Dual Enrollment Coordinator, and you can do that by calling 229-500-2832, or you can text me at 229-854-3533, and I'll send you a link to set up your meeting. All male students that will be turning 18 or older during the funding year must apply for selective service. Selective service is required in order to receive the free funding through the state of Georgia. Okay, so we're at the funding application. We're on georgiafutures.org. We've clicked on Hope and State Aid Programs. We've clicked on Scholarship and Grants, and now we're at the Dual Enrollment application. You'll click Apply Now, and you'll need to help your child with the funding application because the students go through it so quickly that they actually create errors in the application, and the errors can be something minor as far as saying that they're not a Georgia resident, but on the back end, you won't receive funding if it's not correct. So please work with your students on this application and please reach out to me if you need it. Also, if you're able to utilize the chat box, there's a YouTube video on how to complete the funding application. So that way you can walk yourself through it and make sure that you do it. On the funding application toward the last page, you'll see where it says, okay, give us $25 to make this application go through. If you just continue on the application and click continue, it will waive it out under dual enrollment. So you all will not have to pay admissions fees to register for dual enrollment at all. Then you'll see this page here. You'll also see the college planning application part, and this is the portion where you need to apply to the university. So up under college planning, you'll click on application. You'll also click on Albany State University undergraduate because the students have not applied into the graduate program yet. Those are reserved for master's students. And just a side note, if you do have a 10th grade student that is interested in dual enrollment, then they are required to have their test scores on file, meaning a SAT score of a 1200 or an ACT score of a 26 in order to receive funding. Your 10th grade student can do dual enrollment without those scores on file, but you will have to pay out the pocket to assist them their 10th grade year. So in order to prevent that, they're saying do the testing. So that's why we're really marketing it towards our 11th and 12th graders. So that way you guys won't have to pay out the pocket for anything. Some of our deadlines would be if you were interested in spring, that we would need those documents turned in by September, and you would need to make an appointment. In September is when we start doing our spring registration. So please, please, please try to get on my calendar in September for January. Some of the courses that we like to offer to our first-time students would be English 1101, Psychology 1101, Sociology 1101, or Political Science, American Government. And those courses are really good because they serve as core classes and they're able to be transferred throughout different schools. So if ASU is not your child's final stop, these courses here are typically the ones that are able to be transferred. But each student will then get their own account and we can go through the courses and their career pathways and what they're really interested in and see which courses we can give them that will allow them to be more successful.
Ms. Smith, we have a question in the chat. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Someone asked, will juniors need to complete the AccuPlacer?
No. So at this time, 11th and 12th grade students are not required to do the testing to be admitted. But once they are admitted, the university will send out an email asking that the student take the acuplacer. We do want them to have those scores on file. And after they're admitted, we will help pay for the price so that way they don't have to come out the pocket for those testings. That was actually right
Miss
on time because now we're talking about payments and fees. Did you have
Miss
another
Smith,
question?
Miss Smith,
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry. Just so that we're clear, the juniors and seniors are not required. However, the institution would like for them to test, but they're not required to test in order to be accepted.
Correct. So again,
Okay.
11th and 12th grade students, your tests are not required to be admitted. We want you to come. As long as you have a 3.0 GPA, please sign up for dual enrollment. What we will do after you get accepted is send you information on how you can do free testing through our school so we can support you during your matriculation here. But we want you to come, so please come. Don't let that be a hinder. We can do that after you get in. So, okay, back to payments and fees. Our dual enrollment program is funded by the state of Georgia, and so they pay up to 30 credits per student. This is through the entire state of Georgia. So even if you did half of your credits at Albany Tech and you tried to do half of your credits here at Albany State, they would accumulate because it's all up under the state of Georgia. So 30 credits is exactly half of an associate's degree. For students that are trying to attain the associate's degree while still in high school, parents are encouraged to pay out the pocket. However, we want to support students as much as we can with free education. So just let them know there's no rush to getting the associate's degree and that dual enrollment will already put them ahead of other students in their class. Dual enrollment does not pay for fail or repeated courses. So if the student is struggling with the class, please have them reach out to me so we can discuss different measures such as advocating for themselves, discussing their grade and point of view with their professor. And if it's still not a good match, then we may consider withdrawing from the course. But please contact me before you do any of that because 2 withdrawals will then cancel you out of dual enrollment, and that's what we're trying to prevent. So we don't pay for failed or repeated courses. And if you withdraw from 2 courses, you would be disqualified from dual enrollment. But we do pay for science courses. There is a $40 lab fee that students are responsible for. This is for online and in-person courses. And if it were up to me, there would be no fees, but this is a state of Georgia fee and policy, so we have to adhere to it. So moving on, we will not pay for appreciation courses anymore, which is why I try not to offer them. Dual enrollment payments will be processed by midterm of the next term. So in fall, if you're looking at that fall calendar, around homecoming is when our balances will be paid. So when your student registers, they'll probably get emails about payments being due. Just disregard because I'm going to pay for those things for you. But your student is required to renew their funding application at the end of each year. And this is just to say that their funding is still available for each year. So if you don't renew your funding application each year, which is that first link we sent out, then you are at risk for paying out the pocket. And if you were to pay out the pocket, this is kind of the max on what the fees would look like. So one credit would be at the max $169.33. And so depending on how many credits you're trying to take above the 30 credits, this is kind of how you would calculate that information. All of our students will be registered as Associate of Arts degrees in interdisciplinary studies. Interdisciplinary studies is like a fancy way to say we like to study, we like to learn. So our students are going to be categorized as that major. And what that does is it allows them to take core classes in different entities that will be transferable once they do decide what college they're going to, which hopefully is Albany State University. But we know that, there may be some certain tracks depending on the career goals that you have. And at this time, that is the end of my presentation, but I am here for questions. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And it says in the questions, my child has already completed the funding application. Does she need to complete another one? If the funding source year says 2024 to 2025, you do not need to complete another one. If it says 2023 to 2024, then yes, you would need to complete one for 2024, 2025. Let's see if there are any more questions.
Ms. Smith, I know
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead. Ms. Wiley.
I was just gonna ask if what is the date for summer, like summer 2025?
For
Do you have
registration?
y'all have that? Yeah, registration, yeah.
So to do summer registration, we would start that in February.
In February, okay.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm gonna pull the calendar and I'm gonna put it in the chat for you, the summer calendar.
Move on, we're ready.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Parks has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, yes, I have a question. I came in a little late, so I may have missed it. My daughter filled out her dual enrollment application, I think it was May 2nd, but her guidance counselor at the school, they didn't process it because they said they were only working on those who were for the summer semester. So has the deadline passed for the fall semester for dual enrollment?
No, so we're actually trying to get this entire group enrolled for fall registration. So if that were the case, then we would just need those documents right away. And so those documents, again, would be the transcript sent by the high school counselor, a copy of the birth certificate, and a copy of the immunization records. With those 3 files and with your funding applications, we can get the student registered for fall 24.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Kimberly and then Ms. Nix.
Yes, I have a question. So if the student is graduating this upcoming year, do I need to complete a FAFSA so she can do summer enrollment, or how would that work?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. So once the students do graduate from high school, you do need to go back onto Georgia Futures and do an actual application through the school that's not through dual enrollment. So when they do that application to the college, they would then apply as a college freshman or a college sophomore, wherever they are with their credits. And what that does is it changed over the funding source from dual enrollment to Hope Scholarship, and they get a different access to different credits. So you get 30 credits free with dual enrollment, and then you get 60 credits free with Hope Scholarship. So the state of Georgia is really doing a lot of work to try to keep our students here in-house, so that way we can take care of them. My email, yes.
I put it in there for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. Nix, oh, you're muted.
I was about to ask about the funding application, but I see you dropped the link in the chat. So that was my question.
And I'll be able to share this information with you all. I've recorded the information session, and then Ms. Smith has created a PowerPoint slide. So after we conclude, I'll be sure to send this out to you all. Are there any other questions? Okay, before you all log out, we would like for you to sign in so that we can know which email address to send the information to. So if you could, please click the link to sign in. And then Ms. Smith, did you have anything else to add?
Yes, so I want to add, please get those documents in as soon as possible. And the reason why I keep stressing it is because dual enrollment pays for books. And in order to get your books put in on the request list, you have to be already admitted into the school. And so our date to pick up books right now is set for August the 17th. That's a Saturday. That's also the same day as our RAM Success Week. So it's going to be a lot going on that week as far as trying to pick up books, how to navigate classes, how to look through your syllabus. And we'll also treat that day as an orientation day for the students to come in. And it will be like a recorded session for students that are online. But please, please, please have those documents in before that date. Because if you remember when I first started this meeting, it's really easy for the students to say, well, I told her I wanted to take English, so I don't get why I'm not signed up, but you didn't turn in anything. So please support your child with making sure that both applications are turned in, that the 3 documents have been submitted. And then, yes, I will work very hard to make sure that all of you get to start in fall 24. That is our goal.
The link to all 3 applications are here. I'm just trying to figure out, I know about the funding app. What are the other 2 applications that you're referring to?
The second one would be the application to the school. So a lot of our students do miss that. They do the funding application, but then they don't actually apply to Albany State. And I try to treat dual enrollment is like 285. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Atlanta, but if there's a wreck, you can't get to where you're trying to go until that wreck is cleared up. So in order for the circle to move, clearly we would need to follow each step, the 2 applications, the 3 documents, and then schedule with me.
I see Ms. Parks typing. Did you have a question? You want to just unmute?
Yes, I have a PowerPoint that we can send out to you, Mrs. Evans.
Hi, I'm sorry. I can't see anything in the chat. I don't know if this is on my end.
What did you say, Ms. Parks?
I can't see anything in the chat.
Oh, okay. So what Ms. Smith put in the chat was just the links that needed to be completed. So I will send that via email to you. I'll send this recorded session. I'll send her PowerPoints, and I'll send the links as well that needs to be completed and the information that she provided. Did you have anything else to add, Ms. Smith?
Maybe the last thing would be the link to the FERPA.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if you all know what FERPA is, but your students have rights and they have to give you permission to check their grades. So please, parents, go ahead and sign the FERPA so that way I can share the grades with you without feeling that I've offended your student. Also, go ahead and fill out the FERPA so I can share the information with the high school counselors. It just makes it a lot easier.
I did have one last question. The selective service form, where do I get that from for my son?
So typically you can Google selective service. On the PowerPoint, I have the QR code on there. I don't think it's gonna, oh, there it is. Okay, so I just gave you a QR code in the chat so you can scan that with your phone and do it.
And Ms. Bell just dropped another question in. She said, what if the student signed up for dual enrollment last year? Will they need to do it again for the new school year?
Please look and see if the funding application says 2023 to 2024. And if it does say 2023 to 2024, then it needs to be updated for 2024, 2025. You said the FERPA doesn't work? Okay, I'll work on that and get an updated FERPA. They may have closed out the smart sheet.
And for those that just joined, if you could please sign in so that way we can have the correct email address to send you all of the information that we just covered today. And Ms. Coleman is dropping in the chat again for you all. Are there any other questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Chris. Chris Cat. I'm one of the coaches I coach at the university, and my son is Caleb Cash, and I've been trying to fill out the application, and I'm having problems with the application. I thought I filled it out correctly, and I didn't. I don't think I did it because I didn't get no email or any information back. So I need to. Do I need to go to Central and figure that out, or what do I need to do?
So for you, you have a few options. We can try clicking on the YouTube link in the chat, and that will actually walk you through the funding application process. If that does not work for you, then you are also able to call or schedule a meeting with me where I can do a WebEx meeting and I can try to walk you through it. But you did mention coming to Ram Central. So if you do come, Monday is a good day for me. And Monday you can come to my office and we'll do it here in the office if you like.
All right, that'll do. And can I bring all that information to you? Also, like his birth
Yes,
certificate and shop
yes.
records and stuff like that.
Yes, that would be
All right.
great. Just again, to reiterate, if you are trying to bring the transcript must be in a sealed envelope or emailed directly from the counselor. So you know how sometimes counselors will hand them the transcript. We can't take it like that. So a sealed transcript or email directly from the counselor to me.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And they did say that the FERPA link wasn't working. So did you want me to just add that in the email that I sent to them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I will get an updated link for you because it looks like our spreadsheet has been closed out.
Okay.
The Albany State application for fall 24 is not located on that page.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Please go ahead and do spring 25. I have a form that I can send out to change the term to fall 24. Because if you remember, technically our deadline was June 1st, but you know, I got y'all.
But
So
it's still 23 on there. It's the semesters for 23. The
for
page
for
that
your previous application.
I just clicked on the link that was shared to get to the application, and it's giving the semesters in 23. It doesn't have 24 or 25.
Which one?
For the Albany State application for enrollment.
Oh, that shouldn't be there. I was using it today and I was able to get spring 25. Let's see. Yeah, you should be able to get spring 25 with this. Mm-hmm.
You're muted, Miss Nix. You're muted.
Tell me where to click at. Do I click where it says freshman apply?
But you're not going to do freshman. You're going to do dual enrollment or it's going to charge you.
Okay, let me see.
You're doing dual enrollment under the university.
Also, I saw that there were some new people that was recently admitted into the room. If you'll please take a moment to click on the signing link, I'm going to drop that back in the chat. Again, for those of you that just joined, if you would please click that link and sign in just so that we'll have a good contact to send you all of the information from the meeting.
Ms. Nix, were you able to see it? You still don't see it?
You're muted.
I'm sorry, I'm looking. I could be looking in the wrong place. I don't see where you could enrollment. I don't see dual enrollment.
Ms. Smith, is it possible for you to share your screen so they can see where they need to navigate to?
Well, because I'm not a teacher, a coordinator, it won't reflect the student side. It will only reflect the administrator side if I do it like that. But what we can do, parents, like I'm more than happy to walk you through it again. So next week, Monday, I know it's pushing it because I know school starts on Wednesday. But if you're able to come in on Monday, I'll be more than happy to try to find us a computer lab and we can start walking through the application together because it's very important that we get this in.
Are there any other questions? Okay, if there are no other questions, I will be sure to send you all this information via email. So please make sure you signed in. I will have this recorded session. I'll have the PowerPoint that Ms. Smith provided, as well as all the links and instructions. So if there are no other questions, you all are free to go. And thank you all so much. Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Thank you. See you all soon.